Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Monday said he wanted police forces across the country to wear body cameras to help overcome what he said was public distrust in the forces of law and order. That won't do anything unless we redesign the CRCC at the same time. The Civilian Review and Complaints Commission is the independent body tasked with reviewing Mounties' behavior. It receives, on average, more than 2,000 complaints from the public every year. You may be glad someone is watching these guys, but as it stands the CRCC has no power to compel the police to do anything. They can ask them for information, which the police can ignore, and they can make recommendations. That's the beginning and the end of it. Predictably, such impotent oversight has accomplished very little. In fact, the RCMP have been stonewalling the CRCC so successfully they often can't even complete their reports and release their findings. In some cases they blocked investigations this way for years. https://www. CBC, ca/news/politics/RCMP complaint watchdog 1. 559-4861. That system needs a radical overhaul which leaves the CRCC, or some replacement for it, with the ability to legally compel police cooperation in investigations, compel the RCMP to punish or remove bad cops, compel verifiable change in police institutions and procedures when it's deemed necessary, provide continued monitoring for some period to verify compliance, and the ability to enforce penalties when non-compliance with that change is found. You'd think we probably need more than the current staff of 50 to effectively police the 70,000 police officers in this country too. The police can just turn them off, which seems to be a big problem in the States. The mistake cities in the US have made is to not make the body cam footage public. The police can then keep their crimes or mistakes hidden. Don't let this happen. We shouldn't rely only on body cameras. They don't prevent the crimes. They're just good for evidence if footage is not covered up. Here's https://twitter.com/samsway/status/118655701271732224 s=20, a super insightful study on what is and isn't effective to prevent police brutality. Really? If you have a few minutes, take a look. It's based on 30 years of data across the states and compares effectiveness of policies. Some thoughts from across the pond. In the UK, for the last 5 or so years, it is now standard practice for all cops to wear body-worn cameras. It's not normally made public, for data protection. Good news, it's led to a 90% drop in complaints against the police. https://www. The Times, Co. UK/article/police body cams cut complaints by more than 90-75 NP3D/NCQ. In some places, figures do differ, but overall big drops. However, it has done nothing to change attitude towards the police or increased trust. Indeed, the stats about excessive force, complaints, fatal shootings are either coming down, or remain level, yet the assault rate against police continues to rise. There are wider social issues at play here, some of them justified, some of them not. There is culture war, if you like, being played out on social media to which the wider government and police are almost unaware of. Young people in the UK are in an echo chamber that body cameras, even widespread police reform, will not change. We can criticize this and say it isn't enough. And we'd be right, it isn't, but it's action. It's a swift response to the thousands of Canadians asking for something to be done. It's a step in the right direction, and even though body cams aren't enough on their own to change a systemically racist institution, it's a message from our government saying we hear you. We want to do better and we're going to try. And I find that promising and respectable. Edit, because I feel like I'm repeating myself in replies. I probably didn't do my full thoughts justice, and I do truly understand people's opposition to Trudeau. Please read my earlier replies to similar stuff. I am not advocating complacency. At all. I'm not even advocating liberal support. But I completely disagree with divisive bipartisan politics whereby you can't support one thing from a party while disagreeing with others. This only lends power to extremist ideology and splits our country. I also completely agree with supporting progress, with the caveat of continuing to demand more and remaining critical of our government. I understand harsh criticism against Trudeau. His government has made many mistakes and he has many promises left to keep. But the reality is that Trudeau right now is our Prime Minister. We shouldn't kiss his ass. And we should continue demanding change. There is so much he could do that he isn't, and that isn't okay. But if you show zero support for step 1, why would he be motivated to provide step 2? I in no way said or, hopefully, implied that everything is now cool because body cams. I'm just happy he responded with some kind of action and am hoping more will follow. Also hoping my fellow Canadians will continue to voice their concerns loudly and publicly. It's kind of like when your kid pees in her diaper while sitting on the potty. Like, yeah girl, that's not exactly what I want, but, fuck, it's the start of a behavior I want to keep seeing. So I'm gonna clap for you and say yay. But I'm also going to keep putting you on that goddamn potty. For the third time, if all you do is shit on everything, all you end up with is piles of shit and no change. They did in my city for a bit. It was a pilot project and at the end of it the police said, too expensive. Cameras were typically faulty. Batteries wouldn't last a full shift. It didn't improve officer or public safety. They couldn't hold up in the cold. The funny thing was the factual stats stated that the officers who had body cameras received less complaints than those who didn't, and overall acts of abuse went down. Guess what happened when they dumped them? It's weird, but cases of abuse and complaint calls rose up. Weird. Why the fuck aren't they already? Prison cops should have to wear them too. Body cams are a fantastic idea on so many levels. It helps the public determine if the cops are acting in effective and moral ways, but it also helps the police departments who are doing a great job by improving their public image. Once more people are how crazy some of the people the cops deal with are, maybe something will be done. While I don't think our police are nearly as bad as Americans, I still think we should have body cams. If Trudeau wants to give us more funding to have decent body cams, I'm all on board. Most of the funding for police are their salaries. The federal government can do whatever it wants with the RCMP, but doesn't have the jurisdiction to impose that to provincial and municipal police. As someone who is very supportive of the police, I support this as a safety measure for all. It protects innocent cops as well as innocent citizens. Good plan, Justin. Just don't do what we did and make them essentially useless by making the footage harder to get than a winning lotto number, and easy to get around because there's, apparently, no penalty for turning it off and saying oops, my bad. I'll put in my hands on experience. Axon, which is Taser, pretty much owns the body cam segment. They have a cloud solution where they take terabytes of data. As an American company, the US government has full access to Canadian video as per Patriot Act, so this automatically fails our privacy and security guidelines. Even if the data center is in Canada and it's an American company, it fails. I sit on a policy board and deal with this for Office 365. Toronto and Montreal are the data centers, but all operational data must be encrypted with tokens, as Microsoft could comb through sensitive operational data otherwise. One storage solution would be a daily backup to Amazon or Azure using our own encryption. Body cameras, okay, good start, but who will review the footage? We need a separate entity to review for strict code of conduct agreed to by both police forces, lawyers, and activists to ensure justice, and a separate body to review and enforce those codes.